and out. So for new flavors, in fact, I have 2 new flavors in that I just put in last week. So we make milkshakes out of all of them. We make soda floats out of all of them. We serve them also in bowls and in cones. And so for the cones, we have waffle cones and we have cake and sugar cones. One thing that we started to make just recently are waffle bowls. So we're not buying those through a vendor. We're actually making them and serving 2 and 3 scoop ice creams in 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream in a bowl, which is a relatively new item for us. And then we just have a variety of drinks. Because I want this to be an experience not only with me, the owner, but also between the people that come in, the moms and dads, the grandparents and the children. I want them focusing on one another. And I don't want them being distracted by a TV. I have a radio, but it's very low. But I'm looking for, it just touches my heart when I see grandma and grandpa sitting down with their grandchildren and they are interacting with one another and they're having an experience that they're going to remember. And then the child is going to say, I had a great time at Creamberries, let's go back. And there was a woman who, when she had all-day classes, she couldn't keep all the kids in the classroom the whole day. So she called us up and she said, what if I brought the kids over to your shop? Is there anything that you could do for us? And we said, sure, we'll give all the kids free toppings and we'll just set up an area for them to sit. Well, we put yard tables out and we covered it with butcher paper. And so when they got here, not only were they eating ice cream, they were drawing. And then we put the butcher paper up on the wall, whatever they drew that day. And other kids started to see it and say, hey, I want to draw a picture. Hey, I want to draw a picture. Well, she moved on from her art school. And then I just started tearing pieces of paper up and letting the kids do their own drawing. It has to have a name and a date. And we try to keep it ice cream related. And then we also have a room, I call it the quiet room, and we do birthday parties. My approach is, I give you the room, you do everything else. If somebody comes in and tells me that they saw this video, then I'm gonna give them a free topping.
Stormwater has heard from the citizens and they are taking action throughout the community.
Our job here in Stormwater is to manage just the stormwater projects. There's 3 different types of water. You got wastewater, you got sewage, and you have stormwater. Our job in this department is to do stormwaters as long as it's within the county's right of way.
3 projects have been completed recently, and Saxony Drive is one of them.
It's a residential community, and what we did out there was to go in and replace pipes. We rebuilt the culvert to kind of shelter the pipe, and we redid the street in that area. The way we put it in is going to eliminate the flooding that was obviously causing a lot of the erosion, and it is built to handle whatever additional water that may come through there to keep it from happening again.
Dr. Kimbrough reflects on the goals that the citizens set during Envision Rockdale.
We're really proud of the Saxony Drive Culvert Project. It allowed us to do a couple of things for the neighborhood. It allowed us to have a street repaired, necessary repair. It gets the waterways moving toward the Lakefield Dam, which is just 2 miles upstream. And it, more importantly, allows us to reduce the inventory that has been out there, that's been destroyed through the years. So our square, there's known as our linear square feet of pipes in the stormwater structure, that whole process is being reduced. So we're moving toward a goal to have all of these pipes underneath our streets here repaired. The Envision Rockdale folks gave us by 2023, they want to see 14,000 linear square feet repaired, and we're just under 1,400 with the 3 different projects. This project, the Good Road project, as well as Rolling Acres, is moving us toward the goal. First goal set by the citizens of Rockdale, and then we have our own internal goal to go even faster than that.
I live on Georgia 20, which is about a quarter of a mile from Hightower Trail. I use that road a lot to go to Monroe and Athens a lot because I go up here and I go Hightower West up here that takes me over, which turns into White Road, which goes into 138. And I use that road back and forth a lot. And I'll tell you, I was telling Doreen, a few months ago that, if you're not like in a crossroad course there, you're going to the alignment shop every day because there was potholes everywhere. And I said, when are we going to get this road? Well, it's on the agenda. It's on the agenda. And so I just, before the last comment I made to her, back before it got paid, I said, how long is that agenda you got? And she says, it's coming. And needless to say, we were surprised and pleased when we saw the pavers out there paving.
This project, SPLOST 3A project, which is a wonderful project for the county, that's definitely one that's funded through our SPLOST tax. This is a 16.3 mile project. Part of that is this West Hightower Trail, which goes from Pleasant Hill Road to East Hightower Trail. So we're looking at about 4.4 miles of roadway improvement. It was all completed really quickly. We're looking at almost a month and a half to 2 months of turnaround time, depending on weather. Right now, we're currently finished with all of the roadway improvements. The only thing that's left at this time is we do need to do some shoulder improvements as well as some thermoplastic striping, improvements to the project. This project portion of the project come in at almost $700,000 of improvements. We're very gracious and happy and thankful to the chairman and all the commissioners. The project life will be approximately 10 to 15 years, and at that time we would need to go into another overlay. From Pleasant Hill to State Route 20, which is around 2 miles, that's microsurfacing. That's where we just put the small 1-inch layer of asphalt wearing course on the roadway. From State Route 20 to Philadelphia Road, we have about 1.14 miles of full depth replacement where we're replacing the entire roadway. We still have to do the shoulders and we have to do the thermoplastic in that area. From Philadelphia Road to East Hightower, that's where we did the milling, patching, and overlay. Once again, that's about approximately 4.4 miles of roadway.
Well, when I was informed that I would be doing this today, I said, I better ride over there and just look around in case they're talking about something I don't know about, something that's going on. Mm-hmm. So I went over there, and I'll tell you, it is a nice road now. There's no potholes. Whoever you contracted to do that did an excellent job. No complaints with the quality of work.
As far as this project, it is weather dependent, but you're probably looking at a completion with the thermoplastic going in sometime in mid-November, definitely before Thanksgiving.
Opinions expressed during Success Minute highlight the progress Rockdale County is making. Welcome to Rockdale Success Minute, a quick way to show you what we are proud of in just 60 seconds. Today we'll hear about how Conyers teen Reginald Ray has been named Youth of the Year for the A.R. Gus Barksdale Boys and Girls Club. The prestigious Youth of the Year award is the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta's highest honor. It recognizes teens from clubs in the Metro Atlanta area who are working hard, investing in themselves, and demonstrating leadership in their schools, communities, clubs, and career pursuits. Reginald Ray, the Conyers winner hailing from A.R. Gus Barksdale Boys and Girls Club, will go on to compete against 13 other teens for the Metro-wide award at the first ever live stream 2020 Youth of the Year experience on Friday, November 6th. This year's theme, Voices of Our Communities, speaks to how Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta teens are stepping up and serving as leaders in driving positive change. Youth of the Year serves as the organization's biggest annual fundraising event. Sponsorship opportunities, ticket sales, and night of gifts help fund critical programs and initiatives at clubs and provide post-secondary scholarships for kids and teens. To RSVP for the live-streamed event on November 6th, go to 2020yoy.givesmart.com. I'm Satara Koot, and this was your Rockdale Success Minute. Opinions expressed during Success Minute highlight the progress Rockdale County is making. Welcome to Rockdale Success Minute, a quick way to show you what we are proud of in just 60 seconds. Today we'll hear about Rockdale County refinancing debt related to the water and sewage system to create savings for the county. Rockdale County's Water and Sewage Revenue Bond Series 2020 was assigned the AA2 rating by the Moody's Rating Agency. This is a favorable rating for a first-time water and sewage bond presented by the county. The Moody's agency report stated in part, Rockdale County's water and sewerage credit profile incorporates the strong financial and operating trends such as healthy liquidity position and adequate debt service coverage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Today is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. It is 6 p.m. in the evening, and we are here at 903 Main Street in the heart of Old Town Conyers at the Rockdale Auditorium. Tonight, we're here for our budget public hearing. This is both a virtual and a live auditorium meeting here. There are folks who are watching us via the internet and Facebook. And of course, we have a very small audience here that are practicing social distancing here in the Rockdale County Auditorium. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we will have the presentation of the proposed, I do want to put emphasis, commissioners, on the word proposed 2021 budget. Finance Department.
Good evening, Chairman, Madam Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm here tonight to present the 2021 proposed budget for Rockdale County.
Fantastic. And for the purpose of those watching and viewing, would you state your name and position, sir?
Yes, sir. My name is Bill Vaughn. I'm the Deputy Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Vaughn.
Okay, I'll jump right in here. We are proposing a balanced budget with operating revenues and expenditures in the amount of $79,857,211. We don't anticipate going into fund balance to balance the budget. Here we have the general fund revenue. So by category, we have taxes in the amount of $50.8 million, making up 64% of total revenues. Other financial services, which is mainly our host collections, sales tax collections, making up 25% of total expenditure, total revenues. Charges for services, 6% of revenue. Fines and forfeitures, 3% of total revenue. Miscellaneous revenue, 1%. Licenses and permits, 1%. And lastly, investment income, less than 1% of total general fund revenues. Next, we have general fund expenditures by category. Salaries and benefits, $54 million, make up 68% of the proposed revenue, expenditures. Purchased and contract services, $14.8 million, making up 19% of total expenditures. Supplies, $7.4 million, making up 9%. And finally, indirect costs, making up 4% of total expenditures. Next, we have operating budget by county services. Public safety at $39.4 million, making up 49% of total expenditures. General government at 23.7 million, making up 30% of total expenditures, followed by court services at 8.5 million, making up 11% of total expenditures. Cultural and recreation, 5.2 million, making up 6%. And transportation, 3.1 million at 4% of total proposed expenditures. This just goes into more detail by department from the previous slide where we had expenditures by county service. This is public safety, where we have the coroner, E911, EMS, fire and rescue, and sheriff's office, totaling 39.4 million. Next, we have the general government, which is quite a few departments here. Board of Commissioners, Board of Elections, Finance, or some of them, Planning and Development, Talent Management, Tax Commissioner, Technology Services. These general government departments come into a total of 23.7 million. Next, we have our court services departments for a total of 8.5 million proposed expenditures. Cultural and recreation, which is made up of parks and recreation, senior services, and our libraries, a total of 5.2 million expenditure. Sorry about that, I forgot to change the slide. And last, we have transportation with 3.1 million proposed expenditures. That's pretty much it for the proposed budget. Do have a calendar of upcoming dates. On November 10th, we'll have the first reading of the appropriations ordinance. And on December 8th, second reading and adoption of appropriations ordinance.
So, Mr. Chairman, we now move into public comment. We do have some comments cards that have been turned in from the people who are actually in the audience. And if there's anyone else that wishes to speak tonight, if you could please turn in a red public comment card, and I will hand these to you.
Thank you, Director Rutledge, and thank you to Deputy Director William Bond, the Deputy Director of Finance, for the presentation on the proposed. Commissioners, as you notice, I continue to put emphasis on the word proposed 2021 budget. Deputy Director Vaughn was also able to give us a calendar of upcoming dates, which outlines how the process continues to flow as we close out this process on December the 8th. So we certainly do appreciate the final work the Finance Department has done in preparing this proposal. I have two comment cards. I think Director Rutledge, it'd be a great time to go ahead and allow you to do the disclaimer for this meeting. And then after we do the live, we will go and entertain a few of the online virtual, is that correct? That is
correct, Mr. Chairman. So tonight is a public hearing, and so if we could keep all of the public comments relative to the budget and the proposed 2021 budget. And just as the chairman stated, we will first take the comments from the people that are actually live in attendance at the meeting tonight, and then we will turn over the portion to those that are commenting via Facebook. And the chairman can decide the amount of time that he would like to spend on those comments, depending on how many that have been received.
And just for a point of clarity, I think the Public Relations Department will be assisting us with pulling those questions or comments from Facebook, from the virtual platform, and presenting this to those.
That is correct.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's start with those who are actually present here. I want to start first with Ms. Cheryl Garcia. Come on up, Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners virtually.
Good evening.
My husband and I owned and operated a multi-million-dollar janitorial business. And as a former nursing supervisor and business consultant, I've developed multi-million-dollar budgets and proposals. So budget line items are what I do. To put things in perspective, our Social Security retirement payments will increase by only 1.3% in 2021. So I am appalled, disgusted, and disappointed that our property taxes have increased by 43.7%, and the 2021 proposed budget is to increase by 6.5%, especially during a pandemic when people have lost jobs, businesses, houses, and loved ones, and many are on food lines, even in Conyers. Your budget increases are consistently in the line items of salaries and health insurance. And I feel like it shows a total and complete disregard for Rockdale County taxpayers. For example, the Board of Commissioners, and this is all your proposed budget, salaries increased by 79%, from $419,000 to $751,000. That's $332,000. And health insurance increases by 233%, from $67,000 to $156,000. I question how many more positions are planned and how much will be paid for each position. 2 people at $166,000 each, really? Number 2, Finance Department, salaries increased by 34%, from $552,000 to $738,000. And professional services increased by 658%, an increase of more than $500,000. Recreation Department salaries increased by 179%, from $464,000 to $830,000 in a pandemic when there are no open recreation facilities. And I could go on and on. Technology services, water and sewer. Even senior services, and we're seniors. The food budget is going to increase by 94%, from $120,000 to $233,000. We, the tax-paying citizens of Rockdale County, are sick and tired of paying more and more and getting less and less, while county salaries continue to go up, not in line with the Consumer Price Index or any other reasonable financial metric. Also, I think it's time to start looking for another health insurance company if their rates are increasing by the percentages that I just mentioned, and remove some of the perks that no other working stiff gets, like massages.
Ms. Garcia, as always, I certainly do want to take a moment to thank you for all of what you do on behalf of the good citizens of Rockdale County. Next up, we have Ms. Marilyn Cook. Come on up, Ms. Cook.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. I am a stand-in, but my sentiments are the same as Sister Garcia just came in, and we're opposed of the proposed budget. With a population of 88,482, our poverty rate is 16.3%, 14,422 citizens and taxpayers with a median income of $54,173, and the number of taxpayers employed, 38,732, or 43% of the total population. The Rockdale County Board of Education cut their budget $8 million in 2021, and the state of Georgia cut their budget by 10% for 2021. Rockdale County taxpayers cannot afford a budget increase during these times of increasing COVID-19 cases and deaths. So regarding the $4.9 million increase, we're not for that. I understand it's a proposal, you know, and then as Sister Garcia said, wow, how can this be conservative, especially during the COVID and the economic concerns that she listed? I don't have to repeat what she said, but we're all living in a pandemic time, and for an increase such as that, where 79,857,000, your budget's going up 25.3% from 2016. Like I said, I'm just a messenger at this time. I should be talking about another subject, but I was asked to do this. So this is all that I have right now.
Ms. Cook, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come out, and thank you for all that you do on behalf of the citizens of Rockdale County. At this time, we'll go to our Public Relations Department to hear from a few of the folks on our virtual platform, commissioners, in terms of their comments.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners. Let me start off by just letting you know that we have had the first comment we're going off of is Mr. John Anthony. This has nothing to do with the budget, but we will go to the first budget question that has been submitted via Facebook, and that's from Mr. Alex McDonald.
Yes, sir. Before you do that, just for a point of clarity, if you would just identify yourself and title for the purpose of those who are watching who may not be familiar with who you are.
Yes, thank you, and I apologize for missing that earlier. My name is George Diaz, and I'm the Public Relations Director for Rockdale County. With that being said, let me go to the first comment by Mr. Alex McDonald. So we had enough revenue for a $5 million budget increase with a balanced budget. So y'all could have kept that budget flat and funded hosts at more than 70%, question mark. Next comment we have is from Mr. George Kalichek. I of the Taxpayer Association, George Kalichek, is watching and listening. Another comment from Mr. McDonald. The only comment I have is that this proposed budget is obscene. All items needed to be frozen at the previous year levels and any surplus given back to the taxpayers in property tax relief. And that is it at the moment.
Okay, well, certainly do appreciate all of those who are watching via the internet and participating in our virtual platform. This gives as many of the citizens throughout Rockdale County, particularly during this COVID season, an opportunity to stay in touch and stay tuned in with what's happening with their local government. To all of those who came out tonight, we certainly do appreciate their presence. At this time, I'm going to keep it moving and we will go to board comments, and I'll start with Commissioner Washington. Commissioner Washington.
I'm going to follow your lead and be brief.
Okay.
Thank you so much. First, I would like to thank the Finance Department and Terminus for doing such a great job with guiding us through this budget process. It has been different because we don't have a director, but I feel as if I have been informed the entire way through this process. And like you said, it is just a proposal. There are still some things that we are trying to work out, some things that will be different when we vote in December. But this is a great start. It's a great place for negotiation. It's a great place for us to start putting our values. We do have our strategic plan in place now, and that is one of the guiding factors in this budget. The things that the citizens have said that are important to them are reflected in a lot in this budget. One of the things that I would like to make mention of is the Sheriff's Department with the change of his service provider. The people spoke loud and clear, especially during this entire election, questioning the sheriff about the incidents that happened in the jail, and he heard you. And so this is an attempt to put things in place that show that he hears you, and the best thing that he saw cost a little bit more money, and we're willing to absorb those costs. I'm looking forward to working with the chair and post 2 to finalize this budget and have it something that all three of us are extremely proud of.
Thank you, Commissioner Washington. Commissioner Williams.
Good evening. It's nice to be here. I can't believe it's been a whole year since we did this last budget process. It seems like you would think that it would have drug on with the events of this year, but it in reality has gone pretty quickly. I think the first comment that I wanted to make was to remind citizens, first off, that we did not raise taxes this year, that we took the rollback rate, which means your taxes will stay the same as they were. The increase in costs, you can look at your tax bill and see what your the school's tax millage rate is, and if you live in the city, you can check the city millage rate also. We are not the only entity on that tax bill. There are three of us. So I think it's important to remember that. Secondly, as our population grows, we do have some greater needs, and it takes more money, more revenue to meet those needs. And if you notice, and looks like some of you have gone through department by department as I did, that the majority of the increase is in law enforcement, public safety. And I think that is an area where that we should not say, well, we don't want to spend that much money. If the medical provider in the jail is working hand in hand with the initiative to keep those with mental health and substance use issues that don't have any kind of violent offense out of jail and into treatment. They are working with us. They have joined our steering committee, and that can do nothing but benefit the county. It can benefit our citizens. I think that, again, it's a proposed budget. I'm sure you will see some changes between now and December, but it's a great framework. And I want to echo Commissioner Washington's comments about how this whole process this year was facilitated, and I felt like I knew every step of the way what we were doing and how it was coming about. And in previous years, we really didn't know that. We just kind of submitted this proposed budget. But this year we knew, we were line by line involved, heard different pros and cons and different justifications and reasons for budget items. And I think that I really appreciate that, and I appreciate the work of Bill Vaughn and the Terminus Group. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. As I stated earlier, I'm going to be brief. Tonight was an opportunity for the citizens of Rockdale County. This was our budget hearing so that we could hear from them. They get a snapshot, of course, a clear snapshot of what I continue to put emphasis on, a proposed budget. You've heard from both of the commissioners reiterate the fact that there's subject to be some changes between now and December 8th when this budget is finally voted upon. We certainly do appreciate you coming out tonight. I think and pray that by now at just about 40 minutes left for folks to get out to vote, that folks have already voted here in Rockdale County. We appreciate you coming out. Director Rutledge, is there any need for an executive session for this budget meeting tonight?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tuesday, November the 3rd of 2020. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Good night, everyone.